Hey guys, before the video starts, I just want to advertise quickly the fact that I am currently selling 2 autographs from the legend himself, the YouTuber known as the MysteryGuitarMan. Each is a small autograph frame that he actually used in one of his videos. They're being auctioned off right now as we speak on eBay. There are currently 4 days left, so if you want more info or to bid yourself, go to the link in the description below. And now, on to the video. They said I was wrong. First thing you'll notice, or at least the first thing I noticed, is that it's weirdly long. They said I was ridiculous. Additionally, and sort of adding to the strangeness factor, it looks thick. They said I was stupid for thinking that it could still be some sort of tablet-y phone technology. I'm thinking there's still a chance that this might be some sort of tablet technology in this notebook. Oh, but look at me now! I was right! So hello everybody, my name is TechReal, and welcome to another episode of Blue's Clues News. So, if you're not really caught up on the whole Blue's Clues news situation, you might be a bit confused on what the heck that was, but we'll get to that. We have some other things we need to talk about first. As usual, I have a bunch of news to talk about today, and honestly, there's not actually that much in terms of amount of news, but the pieces of news that we have are pretty substantial, especially the last two, which is, they're a lot, so we will get to that. But first, let's start by talking about some of the more minor news. Starting off, we have confirmation from the man himself, Peter Zizzo, aka the man behind the Blue's Clues New theme song, that the first half of the extended theme song, aka the alternate version theme that we heard last time, is going to be the official Blue's Clues and New theme song. Now, I know that sounded a little bit confusing because I said theme song every couple of seconds, but basically the first half of the video is the actual theme song and the rest is just fun extended goodness. Now, I don't exactly know if that means the animation as well will be the intro to the show, but given how smooth it is and how different it looks from the promos we've gotten so far, I think it's safe to say that there is a decent chance that it could be. Next up, we have Josh on his Instagram pointing out, literally, the one of the music people on the show. P.T. Walkley is apparently his name, or at least his Instagram name, so that's pretty cool. Not sure if this guy is making actual, full-on songs, or if it's just going to be the background music that happens throughout the house, but either way, it's pretty cool, and you'll find that this isn't the only time we're going to be talking about music today. Wink, wink. Spoilers for the future. Anyways, moving on. We next have this adorable, adorable new promo art of Blue, as well as this other new promo art from Blue, which is also very adorable and has a sparkly paw print. Not sure how I'm thinking of the sparkly paw print still. We'll talk about that more as the episode progresses, because it comes back. We'll get to that. But seriously, this render of Blue might be one of my favorites, because just look at her. She's so adorable. She wants you to come over and play Blue's Clues. And yes, all of the yes, except for the paw print, which is a maybe. So, yeah. Next we have something that was oddly enough found in a Dora the Explorer theme sing-along challenge video on the Nickelodeon YouTube. Behind one of the people we see a big giant Blue image that seems to be on the same farm as the last image that we saw of Blue potentially on a farm. In fact, it might even be part of the same image. And if it wasn't clear before that it was the farm, if you look behind Blue, you see a little cow. You see a little cow that, considering they're doing a Snack Time remake, as has been theorized and talked about and basically confirmed, that cow is probably going to end up being one of the clues, because milk. Next up, we have something very interesting from the Nick Jr. YouTube channel, but not a video itself. In fact, it is a playlist of videos for Blue's Clues and You. Now, on its own, it's just sort of compiling the videos that we have so far, the promos and little previews, but additionally, there's a little description that comes along with it that reads, "New Blue's Clues and You videos featuring Blue, Josh, Magenta, and more every Friday." Now that is fascinating. So according to this, new videos should be added to this playlist and on the Nick Jr. channel every Friday. But the question is, does this apply to now or later on down the line? Are they doing this now, or did they just prepare it for later? And almost more importantly, what is this content that's going to be about Blue's Clues New that's going to be on this playlist coming out on the channel? It seems slightly unlikely, but it could be things that are original for the YouTube that are separate from the show itself, or it could be promos leading up to the premiere, which actually isn't completely unlikely. I mean, while it's a bit much to assume that we're going to be getting promos and previews every single Friday up to the reboot, because that seems like a tad overkill, it seems that we've been getting things on Fridays lately. In fact, the previous 2 previews have been on Fridays, the last one and the one that we're going to be talking about today, wink wink. So, I mean, if it continues to occur, then it could just be that we are going to be getting little snippets and previews of Blue's Clues New all the way up until its premiere, so that'd be pretty cool. But honestly, if I were to say what is the most likely option to me, or at least what will eventually happen additionally later on, is that these every Friday clips are going to be snippets from the show itself. Just little random clips that you'll be able to watch back, and kids can go on YouTube for Kids and enjoy them. Just a little bit of cross-platforming promotion / general enjoyment. So, guess we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, here we go. We have something a bit more substantial coming up next. A video that was posted to the Nick Jr. Facebook talking all about Josh and his sort of welcoming him into the show and the Blue's Clues community. A lot of the video is just Angela and Tracy talking about Josh and how awesome he is, because he is just pretty awesome, just from general observation, but included are some interesting little snippets. For instance, in one part, we see him actually starting to sing the Play Blue's Clues song, which, it sounds a bit different. I'll show you right now, so, you can, judge for yourself.
We gotta find another paw print, 'cause that's the second clue. Put it in her notebook, 'cause they're whose clues?
Oh, okay, that's different. We also have this one.
When you use your mind, take a step at a time, you can do anything.
Woo, okay. Let's talk about this, why don't we? Now, just right off the bat, I just want to say, I don't think this is bad. In fact, it's very, very good. I just didn't expect it to sound like that. You see, while the lyrics are basically unchanged, the sound and the tone and the tune and the instrumental music is very, very different. It is a complete shift from the original, because the original, I don't really know how to describe it, but it just had a different sound than this. This is very, very different. Admittedly, when I first heard this, I despised it a little bit. There was a certain part of my soul that just said, no, you do not mess with the songs because they're iconic. But as I continue to listen and just try to open my mind a little bit more, it's gotten better. It's to the point where it's like stuck in my head, and I really do like this version. And it's not as soul-crushing as it was before, so progress. It's just, to harken back to some of the previous Blue's Clues news, my little catchphrase, it's something I'll have to get used to. So, yep, gotta hope that eases in nice and well, and hopefully, as the show comes out and continues, I'll get used to it, and, yeah, it's very strange to hear it like this, so... Excuse my, just confusion and slight disgust. Not at the song itself, not at Josh, not at the writers, just at the change. It's change, and change is weird. And speaking of a change that I've noticed, that I've, sort of an addition that I've seen come up more and more to the point where I realized it's kind of regularly constant, Josh's guitar. You see, back when the first preview came out, I thought this was a fun little addition, and I still do. But it just sort of seemed like one of those things that was just made for the promo, and it just sort of seemed like it was going to be one of those things. But now, up until this point, up with this, including this, there hasn't been a video or promo scene of Josh, outside of the announcement of his arrival itself, that he didn't have the guitar in, which is very strange. Again, not bad, but it just seems like they're really trying to push this guitar thing, and I guess it would seem that he's going to be using it in the show a lot more, because as you saw in that musical clip, he's playing it during the song in a part that's going to be in the show. In fact, a part that's going to be part of every single episode, because that's just how that works. So, I guess they really want the guitar to be a part of his character, more so than Steve, which he did play guitar. It was established that that was the thing he did, but he really didn't do it that much in retrospect. Like, I only remember 2 times where he actually ever played his guitar. The Dreams episode, and I think when Cinnamon came, as, his first episode when he was, born. I don't know if they just didn't know where to put, the guitar sections, or if Steve himself really didn't care that much about playing it at the time, but it seems like Josh definitely does, or at least they are making him. And I really have no complaint about this. He seems like he's very comfortable playing it, it sounds really good, and it's a nice little fun addition to his character. So, yeah, just a little strange to see it, constantly showing up, but, not bad. I'm enjoying it, so keep on guitaring on. I don't know. Now, other than that, there are 2 more little clips I want to talk about in this video. One comes nearing the end with this shot, which seems very familiar. If you don't recognize it, it's from Snack Time, from Steve's airing, the very first episode of Blue's Clues. It seems as if, at least in certain parts, this Snack Time remake that we've been talking about might just be shot for shot. Like, again, maybe not entirely, but in some bits, that's a little too similar. That's, scarily alike. Now, this isn't a bad thing at all. It's just, kind of freaky to see how perfectly they, translated the scene. And it, again, it really does extra confirm that this remake is happening, that Snack Time is being fully remade, which is very interesting. We have our first very, very confirmed remake, even though it's been confirmed in many different ways, this is, extra confirmation, so, yay. Now, speaking of remakes of episodes, which we will also get into in a little bit, we have this little, clip. See, we have a little, section of, testing Josh clips where he's in front of the green screen and he's not really dressed up in the whole Josh getup. He just sort of seems like he's, practicing or getting ready for certain shots, and we see him playing with a shoe. Now, in the whole vein of remaking episodes, I have to wonder, is this supposed to be some sort of hint at the episode What's So Funny? Because Steve was messing with the shoe at the beginning of that episode too, so, I mean, maybe he's just screwing around, maybe he's just having fun in some random take that he's just sort of improvising at the moment, maybe it's nothing. But it seems like that could be where that's leading. Maybe not, maybe it's just coincidental, but if we're talking about remakes, that seems like it's a bit potentially possible. But we don't know how many remakes they're doing, we don't know if they're remaking every episode, so it's just something we're gonna have to, see as we go on. Now moving on to the final piece of news for today, and the final video of today, because yes, this is another video from the Nick Jr. channel. The video is titled, Play Jr. Dress Up with Blue's Clues New plus Paw Patrol, Episode 8, Nick Jr. Yes, this video includes a lot of Paw Patrol. It's sort of mixed in. The Blue's Clues stuff is just sort of occasional, but when it comes up, oh, it's some big stuff. We have a lot to talk about here. We start off with a scene of Josh and Blue at the snack table having graham crackers because, again, Snack Time remake. This is double, triple, quadruple, confirmation that this is happening. If you think it isn't happening, if you still didn't think so, there it is. Boom. Graham crackers, she's gonna want some milk from the cow. Boom. Theory. Actually fact. Anyways, we see her jump up and put a very, very sparkly paw print on the screen. Yeah, I said that sparkly paw print was gonna come back, and here it is. Let me talk about it. So, I'm not in love with it. I think it's not horrible. If it really was going to be part of the show, if it's something I really have to get used to, then I will. But as it stands, I'm not entirely loving it. I mean, I see what they're trying to do, I believe. They're trying to put this sort of new magical twist on Blue. I mean, she's already a magical dog, but I guess they're trying to reinforce that fact by giving some more magical effects. And it looks really good. It's well done. I just don't see it as necessary, and I think I'm just used to the old style of paw prints. They're just sort of flat, dark blue. So, it's just a weird change, but I don't think it's going to always be the case. I think it's only going to be sparkly during the scenes where she places it on the screen like this, which I'll explain why I think that in a future bit, which we'll see in a little bit. So, next up, we have a little scene of Josh opening the door, welcoming you to another day of Blue's Clues, and again, just to, in case it isn't clear, in case it wasn't clearly confirmed, we're doing a Snack Time remake. Can you tell with the frame barn from the Snack Time? It's very confirmed. Now, something else to notice in this scene is the felt frame, and how you can see it from this shot, which is very strange. You see, normally the felt frame is over by the snack table, which it also is, which, yeah, so now there's two felt frames. That's confusing. I mean, not really, it's just two different felt frames. One is pink, or magenta, or some other color that I can't think of the name of, and one is orange. And now the pink one, the classic one, is going to be hanging out in the living room above side table, which, is different, and I do kind of like it. It's going to be a bit of an adjustment seeing it there now, but it doesn't look bad, it doesn't look wrong, it kind of looks like it just fits there. So, yeah, no complaints here. And I guess maybe this might be because the Felt Friends might take a slightly bigger role in the show itself. I don't really know if that's the case, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but, yeah, so it looks good. Go for it. Orange frame looks good too. Like orange. Anyways, we next have the clip that I was freaking out about in the intro of this video, one that was based on my predictions and many others. Yeah, the notebook's a phone now, so that's cool. Yes, as you can see, Magenta is calling on the notebook phone. You can tell it's the notebook because of the spiral and the crayon and the Josh that is holding it. I am so happy that this happened. It's just, I did predict this. This is something that I was talking about in the other episode of Blue's Clues News titled The Preview. I was talking about how the length of the notebook seemed weird. It seemed a bit plasticky, it seemed a bit thick in the back, and this seems to be the reason why. Because it is, in fact, some sort of smartphone situation. And I think I like it. As usual, with a lot of these changes, it's very strange, it's very weird, it's gonna take an adjustment, but it looks good, and it's kind of weird but awesome to see, you know, a Blue's Clues host holding a smartphone, and getting a call on a smartphone. That's like, it's so incorrect but good at the same time, and I love it, and yes. And of course, now anybody in the Handy Dandy Notebook prediction video, the one that I made a little while ago, anyone who guessed a tablet was at least somewhat correct, so congratulations to you too. We were all right, except for the people who said it would just be paper, and wouldn't stop thinking it would just be paper, and wouldn't open their mind to theories. So ha 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 ha. Yay, I'm right. Don't mean to be boastful. I just like it when I'm right about a theory that people thought I was stupid for thinking, so yay. But the real question is now, is there still pages in the notebook? That may seem like a weird question, because at this point you can just sort of assume that maybe, you know, the crayon's a tablet pen, and that he'll be drawing the clues digitally into the smartphone screen of the notebook. But the orange color that's been seen inside the notebook, that we assume are pages, has not been accounted for yet. You can still in fact see it in this scene, in this picture itself, behind the holes of the, you know, the notebook where the spiral's going in, and down here at the bottom. So there's still something weirdly orange inside the notebook. But what could that be? Because it wouldn't be one of the covers, they're both blue, and I doubt they'd be orange on the inside for no reason. So, what are they? Well, I propose the theory that it is still in fact pages, that this notebook both has pages and a phone inside it. The way I see it working is that there's the normal cover of the notebook, then there are a bunch of pages that you can draw on with the crayon, which is a normal crayon, and then the back cover, on the back is the normal, the notebook color and the stripes, but on the inside of the back cover is the phone. It's a bit weird to imagine combining a notebook and a phone like that, but I guess if there are two things that you use in your daily life constantly, a phone and a handy-dandy notebook, why not combine them? Convenience and such. Is it slightly convoluted? Maybe. But I like it, and I think it's cool. And if I could have both paper and crayon that also is a phone in the back, I'd buy it, I'd use it. I mean, I like to draw and also like phones, so sounds good to me. Apple, or not Apple, Samsung, work on it. Or both, I don't know. I'll start using Apple if they do that. Next clip is Josh finding a clue on a cup because Snack Time remake confirmed. Is that clear yet? Are we good? Do I need to stop saying it? Probably. Anyways, the clue on it looks a little strange. It has some, shading, and it's a bit of a lighter color than clues normally are. But it at the very least isn't sparkly, which is a slight improvement, and it doesn't look horrible. Again, with the whole catchphrase, it's something I'll have to get used to, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, it doesn't look bad. And, we see Josh in action, doing his thing, finding clues, which is really cool. Next up, we have something very interesting, as there is a clip that basically confirms a Blues Birthday remake, which is, wow, I cannot believe there's another official confirmed remake right here, but, I mean, here we are. There's a lot of rainbows, as you'll notice, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about nearing the end of the video, but it looks really great. Again, we can see the backyard now, which is amazing. Blue in her birthday hat is adorable, and the whole scene is just really nicely put together. It's so great seeing more scenes of the show. I mean, back to the whole promos every Friday or videos every Friday thing, I kind of hope that's the case, because I want so much more. Or just release the show right now, this second. And because we can't get enough of the potential remakes, we have this clip that almost kind of potentially confirms that Magenta's Coming Over is also being remade, as the dance and the singing that they do is very reminiscent, or rather exactly the same, as the one from Magenta's Coming Over, when they dance that little dance. So, there's a lot of remakes. And that kind of gets me a bit concerned. You see, one concern that's been sort of floating around the community as the previews and promos have been coming out is the fact that they might do only remake episodes. Now, I'm not sure if I believe that, although this evidence it's kind of getting me a little closer to that being a possibility, but I don't want to believe it. To be fair, we only have 3 confirmed remakes, and even Magenta's Coming Over isn't a confirmed remake, because that could just be a reference to the original episode as opposed to its own complete remake episode. So, accounting for that, we have 2 episodes that are confirmed remakes, Snack Time and Blues Birthday. But you know what? That's only 2, and even with the, Magenta's Coming Over possibility, and even if we were to go as far as to say that What's So Funny from the whole shoe theory from before could possibly happen, even if we were to say that all that was true and there are 4 remakes, we have 20 confirmed episodes coming in Season 1, and that's only 4 remakes, so it's hard to say if that means the rest will also be remakes. My best scenario, and what I hope is going to happen, is that some episodes will be remakes, and some won't be. Or even most won't be. I guess I just like the idea that they're going to switch things up and actually have, different games, different, episode ideas, different things we'll learn, and different clues, and different answers. Although, also to be fair, remakes of episodes doesn't always mean that the answers and clues will be exactly the same. They can remake the episode in terms of the idea, but at the same time, switch things up a bit, which I will talk about in a theory in a little bit. For now, we just gotta hope that it's not gonna be remakes, but even if it is remakes, honestly, I think they're still gonna be great, especially if they switch things up a bit here and there. I mean, we already know they're going to a little bit based on the notebook phone, but I think that no matter what happens, it's still gonna be a great reboot. I'm still gonna love it, we're all still gonna love it, and yeah. hopefully all things work out, and I believe that they will, so yes. Next, we have the male song. Yes, we have another song, and this time we hear the entire thing, and we see his dance. It's interesting, and we hear him do his little male wail, which is gonna take some getting used to. I don't know why. It's similar to Joe's, and like even Joe's was a bit weird for me, so it's something I'll adjust to. But overall, I don't really have much to say about it. Slightly different instrumental, but it keeps the feel of the Mail Time song more than the Play a Blues Clues song from earlier. It sounds really good. I like it. Next we have this. Because Blue's birthday. And yeah. That's all I have to say on that. What am I supposed to say? Confetti. I mean, shot for shot remake. Yes, confetti. We have Blue Magenta dancing like Magenta's coming over, which I already talked about, so oops. We see Josh in the thinking chair getting ready to think with a very serious expression that I'm going to hope either he laughs after or just is going to be for this episode only, because that is a very serious face for thinking. I'm scared, but, you know, Josh, so it's cool. And that about wraps it up, because after that, the rest of the video is just the extended theme song, which we've already talked about, so that's all for the news today. But that is not all we have to talk about. I have promised you a theory based on rainbows and switching up episodes, so let's get into that. This is a new segment. It's called Theory Time. It's not really. I don't know if this will carry over to other episodes, but yeah. I already even said theories in this episode, so this is just singular, extra theory time. So yeah. If we look back to the Blue's birthday clip, the original one with the table settings and the balloons and the presents and the Blue and the Josh, I mentioned the fact that there is sort of a rainbow theme. I mean, we still have some blue stuff. We have blue napkins, blue plates, blue balloons, blue streamers, blue hat. So there's that. But we do have a lot of rainbow. The rainbow cups. We also have some rainbow streamers and some rainbow balloons. Only two that we can see. One is very cut off on the side there, but it exists. So, yeah, there's something a little different about the rainbow balloon, though. For one, it just seems like there's more blue balloons than rainbow ones, so it just sort of seems a bit out of place. But additionally, you can see that the string itself is completely different, and it isn't even tied down. It's just kind of floating with a yellow string that's very different from the white ones behind that even the other rainbow balloon might have. Question is, why differentiate it? Why is it different than the others? Why does it have a different string? And why is there rainbow at all here? Because, again, while it isn't a bad thing or, anything wrong, it just seems a bit out of place because, again, it's Blue's party. You'd think that it'd all be very blue themed, so why isn't it? To theorize that, we must first look at a theory that I've seen on the Blue's Clues news server regarding Joe's inclusion in this episode. Now when I say that, know that nothing is confirmed, but something that people have been noticing is that in the background is a present that has ducks on it. And we know that Joe loves ducks, so the question is, could that be his present to Blue? This led people to think that maybe he could show up in the episode as a special guest, and even that the rainbows on the rainbow cups and balloons could maybe be representing Joe based on the fact that he wears all those colors. And that got me thinking, what better reason to sort of differentiate an object and make it look a little bit different than the rest, and even just sort of pop out on the screen in general, than for it to be a clue? So, given that, here's my theory. I theorize that this episode, Blue's birthday, this remake, will not be about what Blue is going to get as a present or what we should get her, given the fact that the original answer to that is turquoise, her turtle, and we're not going to give her turtle again, assuming that this is a continuation as opposed to a full reboot of the universe and the timeline as it is. So assuming that the answer needs to be changed, what could the question be? Well, maybe someone is coming to Blue's birthday as a special guest, and we need to figure out who it could be. What friend could be coming over? Maybe someone that we know quite well, someone that Blue knows quite well, that she hasn't seen in a bit since Josh has sort of come in and taken over the household. Maybe it's Joe. So yes, the theory is that this episode will be about Joe being a special guest at Blue's party, and that one of the clues will be this balloon, which is why it looks so different. The clue being rainbows as to indicate that the person who's coming over wears a lot of colors. In fact, given that this balloon isn't tied down and is just sort of floating freely, maybe it's going to float around, sort of evading Josh so that he can't see it yet, similar to another balloon clue that we've seen in the past. So yes, that is my theory. I mean, personally, I can't see any other reason that they would go so far as to differentiate this balloon from the others, and I think it's just sort of nice to think that Joe could come back this way, or at least come back for this episode this way if he doesn't start off being in the show from the start. And it would be a fun twist on this episode while having it be a remake of Blue's Birthday, also changing up the answer so that it's fresh and new. And of course, not messing up the timeline by Blue getting a turtle again, because, you know, again, we're assuming that this is a continuation just based on the fact that Paprika and Cinnamon are seemingly older, and that Cinnamon's already here in general, as opposed to being born again if this were going to be a true remake of, you know, the first few seasons. So, yes, that is all the news for today, and that is my little theory. What do you think of, well, both? What do you think of all the news? Are you liking what you're seeing? And what do you think of my theory? Do you think that maybe it could be possible? And if not, what theories do you have? Let me know both of those in the comments below. As for my thoughts on all of this, I mean, is it really any, surprise anymore? Yes, I love it. Everything looks amazing. There are some slight concerns given, you know, all the remakes that we're seeing and the fact that maybe it could all be remakes, and just these slight song changes, but even with those, I'm still very happy with what I'm seeing. None of it's been bad, it's just been an adjustment to get used to. And I am getting used to it, and I am really loving everything I see, and again, as I will always say at the end of most of these videos, the more I see, the more I love. It's all amazing. So, yeah, I have a lot of faith in this reboot. I think it's going to be amazing, and it seems like we're getting a lot of news, which means even more episodes of Blue's Clues news. So, yeah, this has just been ramping up more and more, so stay tuned for even more, because, I mean, for all we know, next week, we'll have another big old barrel of news. So, yeah, stay subscribed and stay tuned. That felt cringy. Ooh. Nothing feels more cringy than trying to promote yourself and just, ooh, that's just rough. Before I go, I just wanted to give another quick shout out, as usual, to the Blues Clues News server peeps. You guys are amazing at finding news. It is insane. Like, I would not find this stuff nearly as fast without your guys' help. I would be always late to the game, or at the very least, I might never even find it without you guys' help. I'm like Steve, you gotta point out the clues in the news to me. Or Joe. You know, I could be Joe. Or Josh. Maybe I'm Josh. I don't know. I could be all of them. Or none of them. I'm not cool enough to be any of them. Oh, self-hatred. Anyways, that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.